Okay, welcome everybody to the Environment Committee meeting of Monday the 21st of March. Apologies for absence. We have Councillor Tyler, Councillor Smith, Councillor Roberts, and then Councillors Westby, Dale and Ellis are in another meeting, but will hopefully join if they're able to later on. Declarations of interest. None. Sorry. It says no data. Doesn't mean to say that.
So let me just check it.
Sorry.
On this?
Oh no, it's come back. It doesn't help me number it, sorry. It's okay. Item 4, have a participation. We have public. 5A, minutes of the Environment Committee meeting on the 21st of February 2022. We all read them.
Yes.
Then accurate records, to place in second. And then seconded by Councillor Wenham. Item 6, matters of arrival. Oh, sorry, we do. Yeah, sorry, that's me trying to be quick, so I'm going to my baby. Show of hands, please. There we go, perfect. Matters arising from the previous minutes. For information, the London Road consultation. Shall I give an update? Yes and no. I only had a mandate to try and contact companies and see if they give us a free quote. What's come back from that is that people are pushing me to meet them on site, have a better look, etc. Is there agreement for me to go ahead and do that? All councillors prefer to do that. Oh, I think it's Michelle.
I'll be very happy to propose. Michelle has the authority. I mean, she's our proper officer, and you're not making decisions. You're actually acting on the will of the council previously made.
Okay.
So, if there's no objections, I'll be happy for that.
I'll second that. Okay. Right.
Sure, but I just said we would like a councillor to come with you. I live on that street.
That's great. That's lovely. Thanks.
I live down the street.
And then the recreation ground lighting. So the recreation ground lighting, I now believe needs to be done in conjunction with the state park. That was what
It's on the same electrical ring, so when we do the one waterworks, it makes sense to doing that as a spur rather than giving up the ground spots.
Yeah. But are we minded? Because I think before it was just to explore, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The cost implications.
Yeah.
So is that still on the same path? But
Yes, once we know what's happening in the skate park, then we can ask for a separate quotation for those electric speeds.
okay. 7, correspondence. Have we had any? No. 8, disabled benches for acceptance and approval. Now, I missed the full council meeting. So this went to full council last month.
If you're coming back to this council, just as chairman,
Yeah, that's fine.
because we've given a budget, which these quotes are within the budget, within the benches. But because we didn't have the specific disabled benches there to approve, the council didn't feel comfortable approving them without view, so they passed it back to this committee to make the final decision.
There's another disabled bench that had a seat missing as well, isn't there?
It is, and it wasn't suitable.
It didn't seem appropriate.
I mean, having a look at these quotations and doing a bit of research on my own on these groups or these companies, the ATC one looks the best option. If you look at the image on ATC, it's got an extended curved end, which is great, and it's got sharp edges.
Yeah.
And that is on both ends. It's a very robust design, both ends, and it's a very robust design. The warranty on that, if you're looking, is 15 years, or the guarantee on it, sorry. It has a free from defect 12 months, but you pick up any defects on installation, but then the guarantee on it is for 15 years. The very first one on this has a 25-year guarantee, which, you know, in all honesty, 15 or 20 years isn't going to make a lot of difference, because what you've got is a very robust product that's built to last. The chances are it's not going to be an issue. But the 8C is longer than the other ones. It has capacity at both ends.
It looks balanced.
It looks balanced. It's more like a normal bench. And it has a greater seat capacity than the others. And has the strongest construction, in my opinion.
I have received an email from Councillor Smith today, I don't know if anyone else got it, with some more benches, but I think the designs are essentially the same.
Yeah.
You have to have a look at it if you'd like to, it's essentially the same.
Is this the email from Councillor Smith?
Yeah. No, I don't think it is. My only comment on 8C is that you, for that price that is quoted there, you only get black. For any other colour, you have to have £49.
It's black or brown. That price.
Black or brown,
Yeah.
sorry.
Personally, I do like brown. It's a neutral, natural colour. I know it's nice to have the bright colours, but I wonder if they'll wear an age as well, you know, and become less fashionable in the future. But a brown, yeah,
Blue bleach.
yeah, but a brown looks more natural. It's in keeping with the type of looks we go for, and the existing benches on these parks that won't look out of place. And it's no additional cost. It's not the extra £49 for that.
Okay.
So the brown would be my recommendation under 8C.
Can we just ask, going back to when we were discussing this at full council, were we looking at getting all of the benefits like or just some?
I think it is all of them, because if we found the right style, it would be universal. And if you look at this style, it is fairly universal. You can have a pushchair for a sign for families. For those of you with children, that's a great bonus. You know, you don't think about it until you've got it. You know, but those are the areas there. It's multi-use. It looks like a normal bench with just a little bit of an extension curve on it. It's not out of place anywhere.
I'd agree with Councillor Leslie that the other two, they don't look balanced, do they? The ones with the bit sticking out the side, but that one with the rounded end does look more practical. And,
It has the strongest A-frame support underneath it as well.
You could come along and sat on that end, that table.
that's what happened, is you
Yeah.
get people sitting on one end, didn't you? Looks a bit odd as well.
It looks blatantly for a disabled
I do
person,
like to pet, but yeah.
whereas the other one much more subtle.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, there seems to be a general consensus.
Yep.
Do we have a proposal and a
I
second?
don't mind proposing cynicism.
And, not actually. Everyone put their hands up. And, show of hands. Next we have item 9, which is general maintenance of gates to recreation ground and cemetery. So some of the gates, well, what I'm thinking is mainly the one that is the Beads Lane entrance to the recreation ground. We do a bit of TLC. It's got graffiti on it. It's not black anymore. It's had some washed out dark grey. So I think they just a sand and then a paint. What people's views on this? We have to walk around. Does anyone think?
I'd agree with you, and also the cemetery gates as well.
Are you on about the Queen's Road?
Queen's Road and the ones near the allotment.
Yeah,
They do some TLC.
yeah.
Wire brush, bit hammered.
Has the one at the cemetery, this little bomb here, you know, the Queen has it been really young? Because the gate has been taken off, or had been.
One by the car park. I don't
Yeah.
know, I just went up.
Oh,
Because that
Queen's
wouldn't
Road
show.
entrance. I meant the vehicle access. I don't know. I haven't actually been that way in a while.
Yeah, there's no gate on there yesterday.
Yeah, because that wasn't locking properly. It
That's
wasn't
right.
the bolt.
Yeah.
And there's something happened to the hinges on
Because
it,
someone
and
actually
rather
spoke.
than,
I thought we should.
Sorry, I know we took off the one on Queen Square, you don't mean that one?
Yeah, the
that
one
is
up- yeah, that is the one where,
Yeah.
near the
Yeah.
bell.
Yeah, that was removed because we had it repaired and it just didn't stand up to it. So we need to decide whether we want a new gate or whether we even need a gate there.
Does it ever get locked?
Used to.
Only because there was a series of thefts from Graves and police requested that it be locked.
No, sorry, but someone actually spoke to me yesterday when I was working with Green. Someone had their dog running around loose around the cemetery. They were, sort of taken back. The dogs were allowed in cemetery. I said they're allowed in on the lead, but this one's running around. Now, whether they just got in there because they're going to go down to the dell and they took up the lead off before taking them to the dell, I don't know, but when I went down, I couldn't see any sign of the dog on the loose.
There is
So I might be
some
whether
reason
that should be put on there,
I mean, from an aesthetic point of view, it doesn't need to be had a gate, but the cost of the new gate is worth bearing in mind. There always was a gate there.
Gives you an option for security in the future should you need to. It does make it fine for you to go through, prevents any straight up from within there. I could foresee a time in the future, the gates will be going back on there at some point. If we don't decide it now, it will be some future point, as it were, whilst we're looking at the gates. As to explore the option of either repairing the gate, I know it's repaired, but proper repair, which might be still the best option, or modern replacement. We can explore it at this stage and report back.
Yeah.
But as far as the maintenance of the recreation ground and the cemetery gates, as far as upkeep, I think we ought to explore getting those maintained with the waters and structure.
Proposal.
Yeah.
Do we have a second? That's the last thing, I'm sure. Okay, item 10, recreation ground review facility update. Dr. Dale, Councillor Leslie, do you have anything that you want to say? No, but Councillor Leslie.
Okay, I wanted to move an idea to you. We have a dead man's house, which is a bit of an eyesore in the middle of nowhere really. And it's going to take some work to get up to code really, if we were going to put youth in there. And potentially could become a liability if it's not used correctly. We were going to use it because potentially it's next to the site of the skate park, so it made sense to utilise an existing structure. But because the skate park is going to its existing site now, and there is capacity within the existing skateboard site to have those bus shelters style youth areas that we were discussing, which would be more robust and a bit more transparent and open, shall we say, for security reasons. It probably pay for ongoing maintenance and safety concerns to take the dead man's down and invest any future funds to having the youth facility as part of that new skateboard area, because they're going to be there. They'll want the facility very close to it, and the access and security is far better than the lighting than it would be far better. So if we're going to do it, it seems just better all round, value for money and location.
And what do we think the timeframe for delivery would be? The same as the skate park, or do you think?
I think as soon as we finalise the skate park plans, we ought to explore what seating and shelter we put as part of that at the same time. So whilst we've got groundworks on site and everything else, we can do it all as part of something to launch it. So we're not talking next year, we're talking summer period this year.
I mean, the bus shelter come arranged, but they're available for shelter.
Yeah.
We could have open benches as well, just to sitting benches, things that out in the open. But I think we need somewhere that's enclosed as well. idea was, it's something you can literally just buy off the shelf. All you need is a concrete base to put it on. There's probably a concrete base already there anyway. There is. I think the building won't take a lot of demolishing.
No,
I
there
mean,
were
something
jokes
back
about
in
putting a sledgehammer through one of the walls and probably from there.
Not in bad condition, but it certainly will take a lot.
And because the dead man's hut has been broken into several times, and it was storing stuff inside, and it had railings and all sorts of bits around it, becoming a little bit of a health and safety liability anyway. But they didn't store anything inside it because it just got used all the time. It's so far set back away from the light and everything else, and there was nothing much around there. It just seems a liability. And it would allow us to open up that green space even more. So.
To be fair, councillor,
Sorry, I was just saying, I totally agree with you. I think the idea of the hut is a non-starter. It's in a bad condition. It's out of the way over there. I think the idea of having more around the skateboard park in the line is a much safer option for everybody. And also, it's not just, you know, when the skateboard was fully operational, it's not just the skaters that go there. You can go over there and see all the others sitting round. So they go over because it's a place to meet. And I think if we did that with, you know, the shelters, it would be a real asset.
And because you've got electric to that area, it gives you the
Yes.
option in the future to have CCTV coverage of the area as well. And it's a lit area, which means you get far better resolution like that as well. So if you're talking security going forward, that makes the positions safe, and I think the other one probably just needs knocking down. And overground stuff would be good.
I am minded to agree that it would make more sense to have something that was within range of the skate park and then closer to it. I do have some reservations about the neighbours and complaints. I think maybe that's one thing that we need to be mindful of. If it's in addition to the skate park.
It would be classed as viewing the seating area for the existing skate park, and we have sound barriers between them and the members. So if you are talking about sound mitigation, we have
That is
those
my
big
concern.
walls, then we have those big walls, and if you position it there, it is less than likely to have sound conveyed to them than it would be in the field where it's got no restrictions straight away.
Okay, all right. Councillor Lane.
It might be interesting to continue this discussion with the consensual safeguarding group regarding this, because I think they would probably be in favour of what you're suggesting from a briefing point of view, because it would be more easily visual. And much as it would be nice to transfer the hut into something for you, it is set back at night time. Who knows what could go on there, and we could be opening a can of worms. Having said that, I do think that whilst this is a good idea, I do think we still need to look at areas for the youth in the town, you know, in some respect, in a building somewhere that could be could be run by a community group. I do think there's still an option for that, but not necessarily in the middle of the park where they're left to their own devices.
There are, and the interesting thing for following conversations we've had recently is there are actually groups engaged with that demographic we're looking at already. And I'd much rather empower them to have a greater reach into this than trying to take over from it. So we start connecting these groups like YAV, like the Lighthouse, and other groups who have already got a good reach into that demographic area, and just empower them with, you know, what they need to make this work, and grease it all together a little bit so it's more coordinated. So I think that's a far better use of council time and resources in doing that. But in this instance here, yes, in principle, do we want a youth facility in the recreation ground? Yes. The location needs to be, in my opinion, within the area of the skate park.
Yes.
And that means that we have another building, you know, dead man's hut, that probably is there. This is it.
I think it's fair to say that that would have worked if the skate park was going to be there,
You would have?
because it's not, it doesn't work.
I feel like as long as there's still a use of it on the cards and as long as it's still deliverable in a reasonable time frame, I'm happy. So is that a proposal?
Sorry. Do
Sorry,
you want to
Michelle.
say?
No, sorry, I'm playing.
The advantage of seeing with renovating the existing ones, we got you involved in doing the renovation work.
We,
Because of,
I think
school learning.
you know what we could have, but I think it's going to be a liability where it is.
Hmm.
And what we can do with the skate park and the new clutches, we can decorate it, we can get them involved in the selection and decoration of it. And we've got these big concrete walls behind it that are a wasted opportunity, in my opinion, that we could really make it quite snazzy, a bit appropriate.
I happen to know of the thinking afterwards.
Yeah, well, I think, you know what, it's a lovely backdrop for the new skate park if we use it right. Yeah?
Could I propose that we start investigating prices for these? So that we can, you know, plan ahead, because we're already into April.
So shall we say, you know, we're looking at seating and shelter in association with the new skate park, and demolition of the demand site. So I'm happy to propose that.
And show of hands for approval. Next, item 11, land at Blackthorn Road.
We don't. I've emailed Breckland. I got sent to the correct person in Breckland who said vaguely remembered something about this many years ago and would come back to me.
Okay.
We defer that to the next one we might need to.
Yes, I think that's good.
I think her words were, I'll have to go through the archives and see if I can find it.
If I could just say something on the Blackwell Road, it is a great piece of land. I will mind councillors though at the moment, we have a significant amount of programme items going through in the land that we do already own. And my concern is that it may be timely to do this in the right time, but can we make sure that it doesn't interfere with the projects we have? Because it's another area to maintain programme stuff, and we need the extra time that they've got at the moment to deliver on a lot of these projects. And that may be in the future we have extra ground stuff or requirement for ground stuff because of these sort of areas that we take on. But I'm all for it if it can be resourced properly. If we've got a really good plan for it. Mr. Piper.
We'll get through this quick tonight, aren't we?
We're trying to get back home, that's what it is.
Have you got a birthday today?
Yes, my son's 22 tonight. Or was it 20 past 4 this morning? To be
Happy
exact.
birthday.
Hello?
Did you go to hospital?
He went to Ashburn.
I think it was hospital.
Yeah, he was.
Next we have item 12, which is the gravestones at the proposed cemetery. I think most of us have attended the walkabout and we went to the proposed cemetery and there's a lot of gravestones there. I think Councillor Wenham and Councillor McKinnon would have missed that. Did everyone else attend? Yes. Do we have any ideas what to do with them? Because I think it's an awful shame that they're stacked up the way that they are. It's a little bit disrespectful that they've just been left to kind of rot like that. I don't know, it makes me sad. I really would like to see something done.
I agree, because I have been looked at them with you, and I do think it's very sad. However, we don't legally have any obligation to do anything with them. It's the grave owner's responsibility. So anything that we did with them, that would be at our cost and our liability.
Okay.
Could we use them not directly in conjunction with the skate park, but as and to make an area? Just thinking around.
I don't know, yeah, I mean,
I don't think it'd be appropriate.
I don't know whether it's appropriate there.
Yeah, but I'm saying not direct.
States fair and stuff. But I do feel when we saw them, it would be nice to have them laid out on the ground so you can view them I'd like to do that. I know it's at their own expense and liability, but I also feel we have an obligation in the sense, you know, they represent them as brothers. They're up tonight, you know, out of sheer respect for that.
Yeah.
They ought to be laid out in the proper manner. And I think the most appropriate, given the circumstances, is to see what area we have there, to lay them on the ground and to make the viewing area, or, you know, a reflected area within there.
It's almost like a patio.
Yes, yeah.
Councillor Dale?
Jeff Ellis had somebody out from City College and some other people out to try and see if something could be done with them. And because they're all different thicknesses and the ground, it would be a mammoth task. And they decided in the end to leave them where they were. And most of the engraving has gone off them. If you have a look, the engraving is so old that it's just not readable. So I know it's been mooted in the past. I mean, if you want to have another go, feel free. But Jeff Ellis actually had a number of people out to try and do something with it because he saying then, and Jeff doesn't give up easily. Even he had to admit defeat.
Okay, that might make me rethink my initial thought, because an object.
Yeah.
I just think what's the alternative though, that they just sit down, what for?
The other option would be to make the boundary walls, but then they're stood up, so the liability issue is more a problem.
Well, it did cross my mind because they stand around the edge against them.
If you could tie them in securely.
No, I was just going to say, do we have a legal obligation to try and contact the grave owners and get their permission before we do anything with them?
They're ancient.
It doesn't matter. There might be relatives within the town that are descendants of. It's the stones, it's not the graves, you see, it's the stones.
It's stone.
It's not,
Yeah.
the stones were removed many, many years ago and stacked up. So there are still some graves there with their stones on.
Yes.
But the stones have been piled up in a heap.
They're over 100,
They're over 100.
years old.
So potentially, we need
Eventually, their relatives and.
No,
it was just a thought, we have a legal obligation.
Yeah, so just to give you a bit of insight, so to the legal perspective on that, when you purchase a grave, you can't purchase it for more than 100 years. So anyway, so you have an exclusive right of that plot for 100 years, after which the gravestones could, I mean, not that we ever would, but gravestones could all be removed anyway, because you cease to have private ownership of that grave.
Okay. And these are all more than 100 years old.
Councillor Dale.
Can I just come back and say, at the moment, they're fine. I think we need to spend our time on getting all these other things going. And that is something that could be like Blackthorn Road could be put on the back burner for a little while, because to me, there's much more important things to do because they've been sitting there for a number of years. So it's not urgent, whereas things like the skateboard park and, you know, the youth facilities and the gates and everything are quite important.
Yeah.
I think,
I agree. I just don't want them to be forgotten, because I think that's
No.
what's happened previously. Do you know what I mean? I think it's just really
Perhaps we
sad.
can bring them back onto the agenda once the skate park is out of the way and done. And then we can make an assessment at that point. But that's going to be a very big project, skate park and new facilities and lighting on the wreck. And we're looking at now car park area on the wreck as well. You know, and as well as all the other sites we've got. It may pay to bring it back after the summer. Once these bigger projects are out of the way, we
Yeah.
can then take stock of where we are financially and resource-wise.
If I said, if I put it on, say, October.
I think that would be wise.
October? Yeah.
Can I just
Great things, Halloween.
between now and then, I spent a delightful day on Wednesday at Highgate Cemetery, which is one of my go-to places. Messed up to Victoria, but it's an amazing place, and a lot of the graves there obviously are over 100 years old, and it's been left to go wild and beautiful. So maybe between now and then, we could keep our eyes open to see what other people do. You know, when we're out and about travelling around the country, because there are a lot of old graveyards with graves that are over 100 years old, and see how they handle what they do with these.
Well, they know it's all been. They're quite young, we've got another batch coming up for removal, I think. Because,
Sorry to
there
come
was
back.
talk about my mum's grave being moved, but I can't. So hopefully
But if you actually go in the closed graveyard now, it's full of primroses, violets, hyacinths. It's absolutely beautiful. You know, they're all there, and it really is lovely. To put the gravestones on top of those is stopping rubbish.
And it might be an option to actually extend that wildness. Like, the reason I went to Highgate this week is because I know that in the spring the daffodils are growing wild amongst the gravestones, and it's respectful and it's quite beautiful. So maybe if we decide to leave them there, instead of at the moment they're in the corner, we could actually put some planting around them and actually make it even more lovely than it already is with the wildness. So that is an option.
Just a little random thought, if it's not going to work, given what Councillor Dale said about Councillor Ellis trying and things, the other option would be that you could consider accepting the fact that some of them have been very poor repair, some of them are broken, they may not be salvageable, and potentially dispose of them and replace with one single stone memorial with the names of all the stones that have been removed.
That's a really
That's-
brilliant idea.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I think that ought to be the proposal coming back in October when we're looking at.
If possible, use one of the pieces of stone, the good pieces of stone.
Find a good piece of stone and get it in great.
I think that's a
Because you've got to
nice
get some
idea.
together, nice piece of art, you can polish it back.
Because the thing is, like Councillor Dale said, it is a nice area. There is nice farming there. There's a lot of seating in that area.
Yeah.
And I think something like that for, a bit of reflection would be lovely. Okay. Moving on, public participation. Again, nobody here. Item 14, items for inclusion on the next agenda. Does anyone have anything they'd like to?
Yeah.
Councillor Manning.
So the edging for Queen Square, I propose football about having the lawn, grass area edge with metal edging. You've got some samples sent through that. Where are we with that, you know?
So where we are with that is, I actually don't know the answer to this. There's only 2 companies that do it, so I can't offer 3 quotes. If you're happy for me to just buy it based on the 2 quotes I have, because I have put a resolution to get it, then I can get it. But to be honest with you, it's kind of fallen off the radar. The person that's dealing with it isn't with us at the minute.
And I propose that Councillor Brennan, who knows all about this sort of stuff, liaise it with self and get the purchase rather
I've
than.
measured it all up for it, it's all ready to go. But as I said, I can bring 3 quotes back because I've only got 2.
If there's only 2 that you can do, well, that's
No,
as long as you've done best practice on it, then that's all.
It's quite a unique product, and I
Yeah.
just can't find a 3rd supplier.
Well, as we've already resolved that we want to get this done, and we were just going to find the best of the quotes. Very happy, because of the previous resolution, to let you carry on and do
Do
this.
it.
And Peter, if you want to help with that, that's fine.
Let's just do it then. Brilliant.
Okay.
That'd be lovely. So that doesn't need to come back next month. That's taken care of. Yeah, does anyone have anything that they would like to suggest next month's agenda?
I would like to join this committee permanently, if I may, please, if nobody has any objections. If so, could I ask that it goes to full committee?
That would be full council.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we've got vacancies for next month, haven't we? The council, is it the council vacancies, is it that? When have we got those budgets? April or May?
I'm a little bit confused on that, if I'm honest, because we have the vacancy to advertise again,
Yes.
but we also had the gentleman that was advertised for the one in February who missed the opportunity to be co-opted at the last one. So are they all now together, or do we
Yes.
hold one separately?
They are
Right,
together,
okay.
effectively, it's the same vacancy.
Then in that case, we will have council option. How many vacancies do we have? 2 at the moment.
Yeah.
2 council vacancies, yeah.
Is that giving them enough time before the next meeting, or what we normally do?
No. just
Well,
we-
Which depends, because I've already got 3 applicants, but if you would like me to re-advertise it.
Well, if we're able to, if your option, we do need to advertise the board. You know, that is part of that standard policy, isn't it?
It would have to be, well, in that case, it would have to be made. What I was actually going to say is, at the main meeting, the committee structures are agreed anyway. So at the annual meeting, the committee structures would be put forward, obviously, for membership.
Wait till May.
The only one that stays the same because of the terms of reference is the personnel committee. So all other committees, there'd be an opportunity then. Is that okay?
Yeah, I'll just keep coming along as a interested visitor.
You are more than welcome to.
Yeah.
But that only leaves the April meeting, and then in May, obviously, at full council. We can get stuff forward. Doesn't look like there's any then. And then item 15, time and date of next meeting, which will be, is it the 19th of April? Because the Monday, no, the 18th is the Monday, so is it then on the Tuesday?
18th is Easter Monday, isn't it?
Yeah, so I think it was put on to the Tuesday.
You can either have it on Tuesday 19.
I think that is what it is. I think we did send out a calendar.
I have sent out a calendar, but I can't access it on the laptop.
I think it's Tuesday the 19th. What's it, Tuesday the 19th at 7 p.m? I'm confident that's what was. I think I just read
Anyway,
anyway.
holiday school today.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, that was short and sweet. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming.
So.
You're gonna use them.
Madness.